Okay, good afternoon everyone. My name is Tommy Reynolds and I am a portrait and travel photographer, and I want to talk to you all about what I take when I go traveling. Now the example you're going to see behind you is going to play a loop of my last trip when I went to India. And what I want to show you today is exactly what I take when I go traveling, and it's all about finding the balance between how much do you take to get some really dramatic on-location lighting. And we're going to go through, and I've literally got everything that I took here with me to India. So this is exactly how I would walk around and carry all of my stuff. I carry everything in a backpack and this softbox bag here. Now this is actually an older bag now, so PIXAPRO have since in the last year have improved even this bag. So now it's actually got a nice handle you can actually throw over your shoulder. So I'm still rocking this old bag, but I just wanted to bring exactly what I used. So what we're going to do is we're going to build up a scene. So we're going to pretend that I've noticed someone that I want to photograph, maybe on the streets, and we're going to build it up completely and show you how you can create some really effective and dramatic results. So let's start with the softbox that I choose to use. So the softbox I like to use is the 90 centimeter easy open softbox. So the first thing I will need to do is I assemble the 90 centimeter softbox. Now, as I said, this is an easy open softbox, so it's just like an umbrella. And as you can see, I keep the diffusers just attached. I don't bother taking them out because that's just too much to do. I need something that's quick and reliable, because when I'm done, I need to be able to move on to my next location as quickly as possibly as I can. So all I need to do is just simply find the hole and push that down. I'll just move that out. So it's got an inner and an outer diffusion panel. And as I say, I just leave it kind of attached. So it's just easy for me to assemble later on when I need to assemble it in a new location. All of the easy open softboxes come with a grid that you can put on. Now I just choose not to use it, but that's just my personal preference. I want to create the softest light imaginable. So it just simply velcros all around the edge. Good. Okay, and that's my softbox. Now you don't have to worry about like putting in all 16 rods or anything like that. So this is so easy to assemble. And now some people might think that that's quite a big softbox to go traveling with. And when I went to Sri Lanka a couple of years ago, I used a speed light, and it was around a 70 centimeters range. And I was very limited with the speed light. I wasn't getting as much power as I wanted to. I wanted to use, kept having to use it at full power, because trying to overpower the sun with a speed light is very, very difficult. It's fine if you're in dusk or if it's dawn, but if it's midday sun, then it's very, very hard to overpower. So that's why I chose to use the hybrid 360, which we'll look at in a sec. But that's my softbox of choice. I want to trying to create the softest light as I can without going too big. So this literally, when it's folded down, fits just in my suitcase. I literally cannot fit a bigger one. So this is a perfect size for me. Everything else goes in the backpack though. So if I'm traveling on a plane, I want all of the valuables with me at all times. This is okay. I'm happy for this to go in the hold. But all the cameras, my lenses, even in the hybrid 360, that stays on my back at all times, so I know that it's safe. So also in the bag that I keep with me is this is a smart bracket. So this is the next thing I attach. So this smart bracket can be used not only for your hybrid 360, but also for the speed light as well. So it makes it a really versatile little bit of kit, because with the hybrid 360, you can buy softboxes specifically designed for it, or you could buy the smart bracket here, which has the Bowen's S-type fit. And when you have that, then I can literally plug in any softbox that I want, which is perfect for me, because then I can put a 90 centimeter, even up to 150 centimeter softbox, which I have used in the past on other commercial assignments. So I'm going to attach the smart bracket. It just easily clicks into place like that. Job done. Now in my signature kit, it comes with a light stand, but I want to try and replicate the conditions I had in India, because not everyone will have the luxury of having a friend to come with them just to be their light stand. So Chris is going to be my voice-activated light stand today, as my friend in India was, my friend Brendan. So we're going to use the PIXAPRO boom arm instead. So the next thing to do would just be to attach it, and it's just a standard fitting there, so you can put it on any light stand. So Chris is going to attach that for me. I think so, sorry. No, you're right. So obviously you don't have to use it with a boom. You can use it with a normal light stand. It's going to be absolutely fine. So the next thing I need to do is I need to grab my Hybrid 360 out of my backpack. So this is a Hybrid 360. So it looks like a Schwarzenegger version of a speed light. I mentioned this last year when I was giving a talk very similar. And that's what I'm sticking to that. I'm going to call it again a Schwarzenegger flash gun, because it's just a bigger version, and it's a hybrid because it's a hybrid between a flash gun and, say, a City 600. So it's halfway in between. Not quite as powerful as a City, but a hell of a lot lighter. And when you're traveling, weight is so important. It's so key. So this is just enough power that I need to overpower the sun in midday sunlight. So this was a much better system for me to use versus the speed light. The Hybrid 360, this is the TTL version I use. You can shoot 450 shots at full power. Now, I wasn't using anywhere near full power because I was so surprised at how bright this thing was. I think I was mainly using it around 1/16th power, nowhere near full power. So this was absolutely amazing. I could not believe how good this was, how much power this chucked out for me. So to attach that, so it just simply clamps in and you just push that down. Now the battery for it, I keep in the front pocket. So this is the power pack that comes with it. Now, as an optional extra, and you might be interested in this if you are using only single light, this is, I think they call it a wire adapter. So you could, if you wanted to, power two hybrids with this at the same time because it's got two ports. But if, like me, you only need one light when you go traveling, then you can use the Y bracket so that it draws power from both ports into one light. And the advantage of doing this is I can cut my recycle time by half. So instead of the 4-second recycle time at full power, it's now only 2 seconds. But as I say, I never even used it at full power. So my recycle time was so quick. And we all know how annoying it is when we're using our speed lights at full power, when we take a few shots and every third shot is the one correctly exposed, and then you have all the ones where it didn't quite recycle in time, and it just really throws you off your game, and it's kind of annoying. Whereas this isn't going to give me any of that bother. Let's whack that on. Cheers, mate. So I can ask my voice-activated light stand to either throw it on his shoulder, or if I've got a light stand, then you can just attach it to a light stand. In my signature kit, you can get a clamp so that it easily attaches to the light stand and without having to worry about it falling off. So the next thing is triggers. What triggers do I use? I use the ST3 triggers by PIXAPRO, and these are the high-speed sync ones, the TTL ones. So this is so important if you are traveling and you're trying to overpower that ambient. Because if you have other triggers that don't support high-speed sync, then as you know, you're going to be very restricted to your flash sync speed. And if you are trying to overpower the sun midday, you are definitely going to need more than 1/160th of a second. You just simply won't do it unless you're going to be shooting at f8, which we don't like doing. We want to shoot shallower, don't we? So most of these were shot at around f4, which is perfectly cool for me. I could have gone even shallower if I wanted to, but this is just a personal preference. So that's the ST3 triggers. So So if I hand that back to Chris, he's going to attach that for me. Obviously, I'm going very slow in explaining this, but this would typically take me a couple of minutes to set up if I spot a potential photo opportunity. The whole thing would only take me 2 minutes. So me and my friend got very, very quick at doing this. But as I say, you don't need to do this with someone. It was just very nice to have someone with me just to simply hold it, because that's all they did. Chris isn't changing any of the output for me. I'm doing that myself on my camera. So on the trigger. So again, this is the trigger that sits on my camera. It's got all the bells and whistles if you wanted to change the groups, change the channels. Doesn't interest me. I've only got one light. I don't need to do any of that. All I need to be able to do is change the power, and it automatically goes into high-speed sync mode as well, which is really nice. So if I go past 1/160th, 1/200th, the camera recognizes it and automatically sends out that information to put it into high-speed sync mode. So that's really, really handy, and so I don't even have to worry about being conscious of that. So I attach that up. Camera choice. So this is my camera of choice. It's the Canon 5D Mark III. So all of these shots were taken with the 5D Mark III. And in terms of lens choice, I only use 3 lenses, I believe. Only 3 lenses for the whole trip. And most of my travel is with 3 lenses because, again, weight's an issue. So, for example, I did not, and I do not take my 70 to 200 millimeter, the 2.8 one, because that's about a kilo. That lens is pretty heavy, and when you're traveling, a kilo can go a long way. It really can. So I only use the 16 to 35 mil, 35 mil, and 50 mil. Those are the only 3 lenses. So I never go in any more than 50, because if I wanted to use my 70 to 200 to get a nice headshot, for example, I could have potentially have taken that anywhere. So I don't want to do that. I want to go a little bit wider so that I can get a bit of the environment, which helps tell the story. Now, of course, that's a personal preference, and you may choose and want to use a telephoto lens, but that's totally up to you. But me, personal preference, I like to stick between 16 and 50 mil. I don't go really beyond anything than that. So, I think I'm about ready to shoot. So I don't need to go into high-speed sync mode here at the moment, so I'm at 1/160th of a second, because the ambient in here is nowhere near as bright as it would be in 40-degree Indian heat. The humidity is crazy out there, so we're going to stay within the realms of flash sync and see how we get on. So I'm going to flip over to Lightroom. So I'm ready to go. I've got everything set up. I've got all my lighting set up. Just one light. I'm going to flip over to Lightroom, and if I can ask Rosa to join me. And I'll just double check, because every time I've done this, every day the tether's not worked, so I'm going to double check the tether, and hopefully that should be right here. Okay, Rosa, maybe if you let's have you taken a seat on the taller one. Maybe have your legs on this one, or 1 or 2 legs. Cool. Okay, and you're going to be looking up here towards the light. Now, in terms of where the light gets placed, if you've been watching the video, it's more or less the same angle in nearly every shot. So I like to go with the very traditional 45 degrees left or right, and then 45 degrees up. That's kind of my go-to. And a tip that I like to do is I like to have my assistants, if they start up here, and if they keep going until they can see the top of the model's head, that for me is my sweet spot. That's where I like to put my light. And then it'd be then slightly positioned down. Okay, now I've not had the luxury of testing out this before this talk like all the other speakers, because I wanted to show you how I build it from the ground up. So this will be very interesting how exposed this comes out. Let's just check that we're firing. Cool. Okay, Chris, come down just a little bit. That's it. Touch. That's it, okay. Alright, let's take a test shot. Is that fire? for that to come through. All right, not bad for a first go. I'm actually quite impressed with that. It's not bad. So this is 1/160th of a second at f4 at ISO 200. So we're going to shoot a few more. Now I love using Apple boxes. It's no real relevance to traveling, but I just love using them in my studio. I think they're really cool, and I love this these new backdrops from PIXAPRO that we're using here. But so let's fire a few more, and Rose will just kind of change it up every time for me. Sorry, can I? Okay. So every time you hear it, just change it up for me. Chris, come down a little bit. That's it, just so we can try and light the bottom half of the image as well. Okay. So we're going to hold that. Cool. And then towards the light. Okay, and relax. My white balance, oh yeah, good question, it's just on flash. But what I like to do is I like to go into my menu, because this is just personal preference for me, but I like to go into my white balance shift, and I like to shift it up to green. I can't really show you, but have you ever seen that screen where you can manually change the white balance or shift it? Personal preference, I like it a little bit more green than magenta, and I find that if I put it on flash, obviously it is just a preset, but I find that it's a little bit more magenta-y than true grey. You know, when you bring it into post and you use the white balance tool to kind of pick the grey, I find that when I do that, it's not perfect when it was on flash. So to get it near enough perfect in camera, I go to either put it on white balance flash, and then I shift the white balance shift up towards the green channel until I get it to a point that I like. Alright, so we can try and change this up, and with only one light we can create something really, really dramatic. So even though it's a fairly big softbox to travel with, and we get a beautiful soft light, we can also get a really dramatic looking light just by changing the angle. So I'm going to be in the same position. Rose is not going to change either. All we're going to do is just simply move the angle of the light, so we can create some really, really cool dramatic results. And the point of this is just to show you the so many possibilities you can do and what you can achieve with only one light when you're on location. So Chris has moved off to the side, so it's not really that much change really. Chris was only really here. He's only taken a few steps, but those few steps can make quite a big difference, and we're going to see what difference that does make. Cool. I'm going to come a little bit closer. So hold that. Cool. And wait for those two to come in. So, super dramatic. Really, you can really side light that and really create something really cool. Let's try that one more time. But Rose, are you looking? Yeah, no, I really like it. Yeah. Let's have you looking towards the light now this time. So this, Chris, you're still kind of side lit. Come a little bit closer. And just wait for those two. Was that? Yeah. So, that's cool. Yeah, so you see, you can create something really, really dramatic just by changing the angle. And then if we compare that to the other one, the first one. So look at the difference there. It's a little bit more filled in, and Chris was only here. So this is the point. You don't really need to move your angle or the lighting doesn't need to change that much. It's surprising just how those little tweaks can make such a really big difference to your image. But what we can do is we can make it even more of a beauty lighting that Gavin was doing on this stand a moment ago, and bring the light a little bit more front on instead of side on. So this is already looking pretty nice, but we could go even more kind of full on, and we could see the other difference that this makes. So Chris, we're going to come more front on this time. Sorry? The power of the light at the moment is 132. 1/32. Nowhere near full power. Nowhere near full power. So if I really wanted to shoot, it's going to go. My camera is going to give up before the light does. Trust me. All right, let's try this again. Take a step towards me, Chris. So we're going to almost peek over just underneath. That's cool. That's cool. Just changing that up every time, Rosa. Let's hold that. Cool. Cool. And let's just have a look at that. Just one light, guys. I know, I love the greens, yeah. Boom, that's it. Complementing colours work really nicely as well, and it's kind of like this earthy tone, which is why I kind of went for this colour backdrop, so it kind of suited the kind of travel vibe.
Yeah, sorry.
But that's it, guys. Look, it's so simple. We're only one light, and then if you really want to add something more, so if you are on location and you are you do have it on a light stand, then maybe you could have whoever you're photographing maybe have on a reflector. So if you really want to try and add it up, we've not really tried it this weekend, but we could maybe give it a go now and add a reflector and see what we can create. But Chris, I want you to go to your first position that we did, and if I can have a volunteer to come and help me. Yeah? So if you come this side, sir. So if you take one step towards me, Chris, that's it. So just to fill in the shadows, let's just see what we can, how this image is going to look. A little bit lower, Chris, so we can kind of try and light the whole acid. Yeah, perfect. All right. And looking towards the light form. And back to me. Cool. Check those out. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Alright, excuse that I got the reflector in, but you can see the difference straight away when it fills in the bottom half. So if you did have it on a light stand and you've got someone, even someone else to help you on the street, it doesn't have to be your friend that goes with you. When I was in Sri Lanka, every single shot I took was with someone else helping me out. I would tip my tuk-tuk drivers to come and help me out. I'd tip them an extra few hundred rupees. I'm like, do you mind coming out and helping me get a shot? And so there's behind the scenes videos if you want to check out my YouTube channel of this happening, where the light is literally just in front of the guy's face. But this is the effect that you can do with just one light. I just want to keep stressing the importance of that. And I'm selling the signature kit on the stand here today. It does say 600, but it's now been reduced to 550. And you get everything that you saw here, barring obviously my bag. It'll be a different bag, but you'll get the 90 centimeter easy open softbox, the hybrid 360 TTL, and the ST3 triggers as well. As well as that, you'll also get a light stand and and you'll get the reflector as well. You'll get a light stand in a nice bag as well. When the softbox itself will come in a newer bag. But that's about it from me. Thanks ever so much for listening, guys. If you do have any questions, then please do give me a shout. Thank you very much. Thank you.